Yo, hey, everybody. This is Dominic D'Angelo of WrestleZone.com, and I am here with my degenerate brother Marcus, not of WrestleZone.com, for the first episode, kind of. This is episode number 62 of us, but this is the first episode called Two Dynamite Dudes on a Rampage. On a Rampage, Marcus.
Yeah,
Rampage.
I feel like I'm rampaging right now, Dominic.
Yes.
Can you see it? Do you see it?
I see the rampage. I see it in your eyes.
Nesha, what's up? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we are live. Nesha, good to see you. And so join on in on the conversation.
Get in here.
Get on in here. I happen to be in attendance for both Rampage and Dynamite. Marcus, you are a turncoat and did not attend either. How do you feel about being backstabbing your very own brother on what should have been a one-of-a-kind experience?
Tell you, it was hard being on the outside looking in, but on the plus side, Dominic, I didn't have to hang out with you, so I gotta say, things went pretty well.
Well, you know what? You avoid sitting under the learning tree. That is me. Then that's your own. That's your own problem. That's your
Yikes.
Own.
Yikes.
Right. That's what I have to say about that. Both episodes. I mean, holy smokes, Pittsburgh usually gets kind of like the flack for maybe kind of being almost a flat crowd a lot of the times. But the Peterson Event Center was rocking both nights. Marcus, I guess let's start it off this way. Since now we're covering two shows, both Dynamite and Rampage, obviously. What show really got you going this week more so?
Well, I gotta say, as far as like the quick hitting kind of like in your face action, I mean, Rampage, that jam packing an hour with that kind of action is like, man, it's hard not to get up for something like that. And let me tell you, tremendous match there to open Rampage up. I don't know where you want to start. You've got the host, Dom. You tell me.
Let's see. I mean, I guess we'll start off with the hometown favorite here in Britt Baker. She got quite the reaction on Wednesday night. She cut a very good promo. And I then obviously on Rampage, she won in the main event, retained her title against Red Velvet, clean finish. And they positioned her as a babyface while she kept the heel mentality. So, Marcus, what did you overall think of how Pittsburgh handled Britt Baker and then how Britt Baker handled both moments, both on Wednesday and on Friday?
Let me address Nesha real quick. She asked why I skipped out on the shows. My wife had surgery. It wound up getting rescheduled to Friday. It was supposed to be on like Tuesday or something. Got rescheduled to Friday. So next thing you know, I'm on daddy duty.
Daddy duty. The solo man, Mr. Danny.
That's right, Mr. Mom.
Yes.
Was that a Hogan movie? I don't know.
Well, Mr. Nanny was Hogan, and then Mr. Mom was Michael Keaton. Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Very good, Dom. But look, when I saw that get well soon, thanks, Nesha. It was just a sinus surgery. She's fine. A little bit uncomfortable maybe, but so when I first tuned in and I saw all the terrible towels for Britt, Dom, did you buy one of those?
No, I think they were handing them out or something. I never.
Probably only gave out to like floor seat people.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, lower level or something. But I don't know how they would go about doing that, even if they when they entered the building or so. I don't know.
Might be under the seats or something. I remember you and I went to one that was like kind of sponsored by Rick and Morty, like in 2019, if you remember that, and they gave out AEW Rick and Morty masks to people in those sections.
Oh, okay. So that was probably it then. Maybe you're right. That might be it.
But anyways, seeing the towels and seeing the reaction, I was like, she's getting a reaction like Hangman Page has been getting, like this monster babyface reaction. And I was like, man, this is crazy. They're turning her back babyface, I guess. Like they have to. The crowd is turning her.
Oh, you thought they were going to go all out on Britt being a babyface, like even more so.
Yeah, I was like, all right, the crowd is turning her. She's a babyface. There's no doubt about it. And then she's just like evil at the end of the match. And I was like, well, all right, never mind.
Well, you know what? Forget that. But okay, so I guess start with the promo. Like, she was just pretty like matter of fact about things, and I liked the aspect that she tied it in that she was like the lone champion of Pittsburgh. So she kind of healed in a way on the city just a little bit. But
a little, yes.
Yeah. But also people embraced it. Like, oh yeah, she's literally the one that's helping us out because the Penguins got knocked out of the playoffs. Pirates suck, and the Steelers, they just shit the bed at the end of the last year. So
yeah, I think she's one of the people you're just not gonna turn her in Pittsburgh, turn her heel. I mean, just can't do it. Pittsburgh loves her, happy with her, and so yeah, I mean, she could probably come out and say the Steelers suck and say all that horrible stuff, and I bet she'd still get cheered.
Oh yeah, I thought it was she made the most of the moment, and then on Rampage, I think they furthered that too. She got pyro, she got the whole shebang happening, And what'd you think of the match and as a main event and how it all capped off the show basically of the first episode of Rampage?
Hey, Dominic, Nick Fund real quick is asking, will Mark Henry fight in AEW? Yes. I believe he will. I think he's actually gone out and said that he wants his final match to be in AEW, so I'm hoping so.
Yes, I'm sure that's going to happen. I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit too. Paul White got a little bit of a tease one as well. So
anyways, what was your question?
How'd you think of the main event? Did it kind of add to the elevation of Rampage, the premiere episode, and close on out? What'd you think of all that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good main event. I thought it was the right choice, certainly given the fact that we were in Pittsburgh and it's Britt Baker. So yeah, I thought it was a good main event, good wrestling match. But I mean, the stealer of the show, unquestionably, Kenny Omega and Christian, holy smokes, that was something else.
That was something else. We'll get to that in a second, Marcus. Gee,
I'm sorry. I'm excited about it.
Leaping on over here.
I'm excited.
You know what? Yeah, but I wanted to talk too about just the ending angle of that too. Looks like we're getting Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker at some point here, more so. And then on not only that, but Jamie Hayter returned to AEW and is officially now with All Elite Wrestling. Marcus, did you know who Jamie Hayter was at this point? Because I kind of lost track of her since that all happened.
So I remember actually, Dominic, at that same show where the Rick and Morty masks were given out, she was there, and she wrestled. I can't remember who she wrestled. I know she did the honors for somebody. But I remember her sticking out while I was watching. I was like, that girl's really talented. I was like, she's got a great look. Her look was a little bit different back then. She was like, she really like trimmed down recently, but I thought she still looked like $1 million back then. I was like, man, there's money in that girl. I was like, she's awesome. And actually Casey liked her too. Our friend Casey, who went to the show with me, he was like, man, that girl's awesome. And I was like, yeah, she is.
He was there on Friday too, Casey.
Yeah. So I like Jamie Hayter. I was actually a little bit bummed out that I didn't see much more of her after that. And now, lo and behold, here she is in the strongest women's division of wrestling.
Yeah, and did you see those pictures of her recently? She is jacked, man. She's
Oh man, she went out and got herself in the best shape of her life. Looks like $1 million. You can't not sign somebody like that to a contract because she's got great ring skills. I thought she always had a great look, but now her look is like even more streamlined. So man, you're doing all right. Kevin Davis, we are doing well, keeping safe from the coronavirus. I hope everybody else is. Okay. Wear your mask if you're not vaccinated. Yeah. And yeah, just take care of each other, guys. But yeah, thanks for checking in on that, Kevin. But in any case, go ahead, Dom.
Oh, no. And from the perspective of Red Velvet, how do you think she played? I mean, she was obviously in the angle of the heel that night. And I thought she made the most of some of those moments, too, and just kind of added to her resume. So you look at like how she got her big kind of start with tagging with Cody against Shaq and Jade Cargill. And now this was another moment for her to shine. And so, overall, what'd you think of Red Velvet in this role as well?
Yeah, I mean, every time that she is put on the stage or put on national TV, she excels at a high level, So I thought she looked like $1 million, worked her butt off. And yeah, bright future for her. I think that she's awesome. I think she's got great ring skills. And again, they're really bolstering this women's division. At the end of the match, we got Chris Statlander coming out, who had a huge win also on Dynamite.
Yep.
And against Nyla Rose, beat her clean very quickly. So I mean, this women's division, Dominic, it's starting to look really, really stacked.
Right. And they're putting a lot of the energy and heat behind them because look at how mishandled and stuff the women's division is in WWE right now. AEW is doing the opposite by in so many levels by not only they're main eventing the women, and they're also positioning the women. Hey, if they happen to be in their hometown, guess what? We're not gonna just spit in the face or thumb them in the eye because they're in their hometown just to get heat. We're gonna have them win and make a big moment out of it, and therein creating bigger stars. So
and Dominic DJ here is making a good point, saying that Red Velvet is a good wrestler, but he can't stand her, and that she played her role well. I think she's kind of a natural heel, don't you?
Oh yeah, I think she is a very good heel. I think that could be that would be a great thing to maybe turn her. She is with the Nightmare family now. That was I think announced last week or something. But I think she would be really great in the role of somebody that go against a Thunder Rosa, like we talked about, or Chris Statlander even, or Anna Jay when she returns, Ty Conte, that. Ty Conte and Red Velvet would be a good feud, I think too. So just a lot of different options that
a lot of combinations, and don't sleep on Jamie Hayter, guys. You didn't get to see much of her there, and I know that some of you are unfamiliar with her, but go back and watch her stuff, man. She's good. She's very good. She makes a really good heel as well. She was playing the heel role that night while we were there. She may have done the honors for Britt Baker, actually, if I remember right.
You could be right. I almost wanted to say that she fought Bea Priestley, but I don't know if that's even accurate or not.
No, I don't think it was Bea Priestley. Okay. But in any case, don't sleep on that girl. Don't sleep on any of these girls. I mean, this women's division is strong. So it really, really psyched to see what's going on. Jason Michael Campbell, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Dominic, do you want to address this that Steven said here a little bit ago? I don't know if you're ready to talk about Christian and Omega yet, but Omega is defending his title against Andrade tonight, the AAA title.
Well, yeah, let's get to that one in a second. Let's start off, though, with just what you wanted to talk about really bad and what I also want to talk about really bad. Christian Cage defeating Kenny Omega, being one of the few to actually defeat Kenny Omega in AEW. Mark, we talked about it, and he won that title. He's the Impact World Champion. Overall, Marcus, what do you think of that? How they're positioning Christian? Talk about the match itself first, and then we'll go into maybe what this might mean for the future in the next couple weeks coming.
So, full disclosure, I was late to watching Dynamite and just watched Rampage today. So, I was a little bit behind on things. But yesterday, Dominic got a text from me while he was at the Peterson Event Center, and I was like, "Damn it, I'm gonna miss Christian Cage winning the title." I knew he was gonna win. As soon as I heard it was announced, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna win the Impact title." There was just no way around it. They have to do something special for this first show. He can't beat Christian yet. And it just makes sense, doesn't it? Christian should have the Impact title. He was Dixie Carter's favorite in TNA, right? And he won their title before, so it's it just makes the most sense for him to come in and win that title. It's I thought it was an excellent match, Dom. Some people are saying it's Christian's best match of his career. I don't know. Let's not go crazy. I know he's had a lot of good ones, but it's certainly up there. I would say probably top 5 matches in his career. And he and Kenny just complemented each other really well. Christian did not get a clean win against Kenny necessarily, but it was more like turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But Dom, I don't think that there is a snowball's chance in hell that he's going to beat Kenny Omega again in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm still holding out that I don't know if he's going to make it to All Out, as in the main event, because you have that match. That was a great match too. I'm with you, Marcus. It was really well told. I like the finish. I like Kenny and Christian really complimented one another well, and that crowd was hot to start it off, and what a reaction. That's the kind of reaction you want from anybody, that any babyface that wins the title is what you want. The Pittsburgh gave it to him, was that huge ass pop. And, it felt big. And I thought, it was just overall well executed, and not a whole lot of schmoz going on either with it. Just a little bit of the, hey, the chair got put in the ring, but damn, what a kill switch onto that chair.
And I'll tell you what, Kenny didn't fuck around taking that bump either. He let his face basically just get smashed into the chair.
Right.
I can't wait to talk about Kenny Omega on Dynamite too, dude. Kenny Omega, honestly, just inching his way up in my ranks as a pro wrestler, just like slowly but surely. I mean, it's certainly top 5 for me right now, and honestly might be in the top 3 in active wrestlers because he is top of his game right now.
You know, he's fun to watch in the ring, and he's fun to watch out of the ring, like on the mic and everything like that.
I'll give you a little spoiler. One of the things that I wrote about Kenny Omega as it pertains to his match on Dynamite is something that a lot of heels do, but not a lot of heels do quite as well as Kenny does. And that's, I wrote it down as casual greatness, where it's like he's really good and it's like he is just completely unaffected by people in the ring. Like for example, somebody like takes a swing at him, he just like casually like throws his arm up and like blocks it out of the way. And it's just like, just imagine being against somebody who's so good but such an asshole about it that it would just be so annoying. And I'm like, he is a great heel, just top of his game right now.
Well, there's an aspect too in that main event match, not main event, but the opening match there, where he has Christian in like the Snapdragon, and right before he does it, he's like, bye-bye, like doing that shit.
Yes, like, where it's like everything is easy for him, and because he's just so damn good at it, and it's just like damn it, he's so hateable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just top of his game right now. Kenny Omega is feeling himself better than he has in his entire career, and I haven't seen a lot of his stuff from New Japan, but I'd be willing to bet that it's not as good as what he's doing right now.
I think, and you know, to the point about Christian, this being one of his best matches, I would agree with that. Like, I would agree that just the amount, how that crowd reacted, they made him, positioned him into that role. I think you consider all that, and what happened in the ring too. I thought it is one of his top matches. I remember watching a match from like over 12 years ago, maybe 11 years ago on SmackDown, a match between him and Kofi Kingston. I thought that was such a great match of his too. If you guys can find that, it was just a SmackDown match. I don't even know what day of the week it was at that time, but check that one out.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you. His rematch with Kenny, is it All Out? Yes, scheduled for the okay. What makes you think he's not going to make it there?
I just don't think so. My reasoning is that they had that match just right now on Rampage.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna roll that back around to have again so quickly. I think something's gonna happen. I just do.
I don't know. I think they're gonna have the match, and I think that Steven here has made a good point. Says, "What's up, guys? Do you guys see both AEW and Impact titles on the line at All Out?" So if Christian drops, or rather does the honors for Kenny at All Out, which if they have a match, I suspect he will. Then does Kenny get the Impact title back?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll just be strictly for the AEW World Championship. I think that's how they promoted it. Because I mean, like Marcus, why wouldn't it have been the same on Friday here yesterday?
I mean, easy thing to do following that is rubber match for both titles, right?
Could be, but then you just hit the reset button and everything just kind of doesn't make.
I'm saying put Kenny over it All Out, and then let's blow off the entire thing with a stipulation match.
Just I think it's unnecessary to flip the titles around like that if you're going to do that. You know,
I don't know, dude. I liked what I saw last night.
I did too.
And I would like to see more of it.
And you know what? I could also see that they stick with it because that was a hot match was last night. So I mean, like, and you build off that reaction and like. You have something in like the structure in place for these two already having a rivalry because Christian has Kenny's number. He just beat him, and even that promo afterwards with him and Jurassic Express at his side and stuff. I thought it was really good stuff too, where he said that, how he's called out Kenny and like said like, listen, I'm in your head, I got you now. And
why is he with Jurassic Express? Just doesn't make any sense.
Just because him and Jungle Boy are friends, like. That's what makes sense about it. Like he's kind of mentored Jungle Boy in a lot of ways. I really hope now. I don't know if I want to see, but we both want to see Luchasaurus turn heel. I would like to see him fuck Christian over. He should be the one to maybe fuck Christian over into getting that title. I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool. And then you just boom, you have. There you go. Like you have a new heel, a new bigger heel. Like that elevates Luchasaurus to like this. Hey, okay, this guy's like a monster now, and you got to watch out for him.
And then Abaddon comes up behind him and bites him on the neck.
Bites him on the neck.
Infects him. I don't know.
Kind of losing steam on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna start joking, but I was like, I don't have the motivation for this right now. In any case, DJ thinks that CM Punk is gonna come out and help Christian take the AEW belt off of Kenny.
It's, I don't know. I've struck out quite a bit. I've been striking out on my predictions a lot, so might not be the best person to kind of make these predictions, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I could see that happening. It's would you have another schmoz finish here? Oh, and not that this was a schmoz finish, but I mean, like, would you have Kenny? Like, would you have somebody straight up win at All Out with Christian?
Yeah, I mean, what I would prefer to see would be Kenny Omega coming out against Christian. They have another barn burner match. Kenny defeats him. Kenny gets on the mic afterwards and starts talking about how he's the best in the history of the business, or Don Callis is out there, fanning him, or whatever the hell they do. And then, cult of personality kicks on. That's probably the best way to do it. It's going to be the best way to get a big pop. But I don't know. It's hard to predict it at this point. But I will predict that the match is going to happen between Kenny and Christian at All Out, and I will predict, of course, that Kenny's going to beat him.
Hey, if you do, I gotta give you something $10 worth on eBay.
That is correct.
That is correct. Nesha still thinks she's not quite sold on CM Punk coming. I think he's coming. I mean, if you're imagine them not delivering on that. I don't think I can't fathom that.
They've picked up so much steam. They being AEW, they've picked up so much steam recently that, like, kind of making it sound like he's gonna come, and like Darby Allin teasing it and stuff, and then like having him not come, that could be detrimental to AEW's future.
Yeah, that really could. I would not recommend doing that.
Hell no.
So, let's lead into this, Marcus. So, I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit. What does Christian's victory last night mean for CM Punk and Daniel Bryan moving forward? Does it? How much does that kind of rock the boat from what we've been talking about a little bit, and how you would, let's say, how would you? I think maybe this is more of a lean towards, okay, we are going to probably see Daniel Bryan maybe at Arthur Ashe when they go to New York in like later September. Maybe they are going to hold off on that, or heck, do you have another kind of thought process as to where that all goes?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be Arthur Ashe, in my opinion, for Daniel Bryan's debut, and then, of course, Chicago for CM Punk. As far as storylines are concerned for each guy, I think that Christian, unfortunately, right now is kind of fodder for a storyline between Kenny Omega and CM Punk. That's kind of an inevitable clash that we're looking at. Nesha, Daniel Bryan, I believe, is confirmed to have signed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dom.
I think it's been reported that he's, Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam.net several weeks back when the big news broke about Daniel Bryan, he reported that he's locked in for a contract.
Yep. And as far as Daniel Bryan is concerned, I think, and this is something I'm not crazy about, but I think that what they're doing, what they're at least angling toward, is Miro has been looking absolutely unstoppable. And in my opinion, as I've said a couple times, I'd say don't beat him for a year. 2 years. 2 years would be fine. I would say don't beat him for that period of time, so it really, really means something. I suspect that Daniel Bryan is going to come out at Arthur Ashe and defeat Miro.
Oh, okay.
That's my guess.
Okay. Is that too soon?
It is. I don't want to see Miro do the job yet. I don't think he should, but I think that that's what they're going to do.
Now, so yeah, you know what? I think All Out, we're gonna see Kenny retain if it is Christian. But I could also see, like, this is kind of what we're talking about, the Herb Abrams thing with Kenny, where shit starts unraveling for him. Like, this is the beginning of the end for him, And
maybe so. Let's go back and talk about what Steven brought up before. AAA rather, title on the line tonight against Andrade. Yeah. Is this like his little house of cards is going to start tumbling down?
I think it is. I mean, because Andrade, he wants to wrestle in AAA and stuff like that, and you make it. I mean, that's the guy you got to put over. Like, you want to put over as the mega champion there. So Yeah, I think he's going to lose it. I think this is an indicator. Friday was the indicator for that. So maybe shit's going to start unraveling for Kenny. Now, and does that also mean that shit is going to start unraveling for the Young Bucks too? Could they lose their Jurassic Express next week?
I don't see that one happening, but yeah, I mean, I can certainly picture Andrade getting the AAA title off of Kenny, which I don't know. I'm really enjoying the whole Kenny is like an Ultimo Dragon like belt collector guy.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then they wouldn't have made him lose last night.
Hey, Dom, speaking of Miro, DJ pointed out Fuego almost beat Miro last night. Fuego looks like a Portuguese man of war. What was his name? Aldo Montoya. Yeah, it doesn't he? Like, I think that they need to bring in Justin Credible in his Aldo Montoya gimmick as that kid's manager.
Guy's manager. We'll talk about them in a second. But yeah,
I'm sorry, I diverted.
You gotta quit diverting. You're diverting too fucking
much. I'm sorry. I keep seeing these comments on. I know. They're getting me pumped up.
We'll get to them.
In any case, Dominic, yeah, I think you've got a point, and I think that Kenny's going to start dropping these belts, which I'm not crazy about, but it is kind of like his Herb Abrams like cocaine crash out.
Yeah, he's like not going to be like he's not going to be with no pants on and fucking baby oil like cocaine and hookers.
But this is like Kenny Omega's like giant burnout.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's dude. He's been so entertaining, and you can say what you want about like he's not a classic wrestler, and he's not. He doesn't sell. He doesn't. He's not like it. He's not what we have known wrestling to be, but he's the best part of what wrestling has become.
It's a lot of fun to watch him. I have a from a modern wrestling standpoint, I don't understand like people kind of hating on him. Like, I think he's like, especially now, he's really doing a good job. And you know what? He's like, he might not sell, but he's doing a good job of getting people over, and like being that fucking antagonizing heel that you're just like, he's funny. He's like hitting all the spots. And let's talk about that. Okay. Before we transition on, that interaction between him and Christian on Wednesday was really good too. And just Christian like kind of laying it in and like get Christian able to get his heat. Cause like, the live crowd there wasn't aware that at that point that Christian was the number one contender and facing Kenny at All Out. Like, so when it got revealed in the ring like that, the crowd started chanting CM Punk and then yes, yes, yes. So like Christian turned it back on its head and was like, called Kenny a jagoff to get that Pittsburgh pop and got him back on, back on track. What a veteran move. What a veteran move that is. And then, but Kenny's reaction to that too, my buddy mentioned that what Kenny did was like, I hope you're meaning like, no, like when everybody was like chanting at the end. That's a Simpsons reference where like they're chanting Boo Earns, like Mr. Burns. That was pretty clever.
Yeah, I mean, he's really clever. And as I've said, just like, really feeling himself and hitting his stride, and like it looks like he's just having fun out there, and it seems like he is. And dude, can we just transition to the 6-man tag?
6-man tag, yes, let's do that
on Dynamite. I mean, Kenny Omega and Dante Martin, I think, stole the show. Dante with just like his crazy high flying. There was just one particular spot where it was actually against Kenny. He flipped out of the Snapdragon and then did like this crazy, like sort of backflip above Kenny and insecuried him. It was crazy looking. So, I mean, that really stuck out. I think, he's cementing himself as one of the best high flyers in pro wrestling. He would be a very good first AEW Cruiserweight champion. You got to get that shit over a little bit.
Dude, I'm like with you. I really like, and like this, I think like Darius Dante, I'm sorry, is like that guy to kind of build it around too in a lot of ways. Get him, you get Matt Sydal, you get who else have we been naming? Like just I
want Chris Jericho in the inaugural tournament.
Chris Jericho would be cool.
Juventud in the inaugural tournament.
Movie, and then you get like all these names and like Marcus, it's what's perfect about it too is that, so look at what WWE just fucking did with NXT. They released so many people, and like, did you hear like the report about like there's like a memo that got sent out, no more midgets, no more of this bullshit, like basically Vince is looking for guys that will main event WrestleMania, and so Vince is going back to his old hat I mean, what
He's like, I need somebody to slam a giant.
Give me Earthquake. It was Dynamic. So
I need a celebrity in a boxing match. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of options, and he doesn't like short guys, like guys 5'10" or shorter. And he's missing the boat. He doesn't know what he's doing.
So what I'm saying is, so if they're veering away from that, and like they still have Kushida as their cruiserweight champion, but if they're veering away from that, it would make plenty of sense to just get a cruiserweight title. People love cruiserweights. WCW, you still have that TNT tie. You have everything. Look, the stuff is there for it, and you have a big roster enough, and younger, thinner guys that can compete for that title.
And you're also giving some guys more to do. Which I think is important, where it's like you've got all this talent on TV. Like Matt Sydal is a good example. We don't see a lot of him. When we do see him, he kind of steals the show and he looks great. Give him something to try for, have him in this tournament, raise the stakes, do some pre-tapes. But yeah, again, we're diverting. Really, Dominic, the focus of the 6-man tag to me was just Kenny Omega. As great as Dante Martin was, as great as everybody in the match actually was. It was good. It was a good match, very entertaining. Kenny Omega was just like stealing the show, dude, and just this. Again, best way to put it, casual greatness, where it's just like very unaffected, not nervous at all to be climbing in the ring. Like somebody took a swing at him. It looked like he didn't look and he was just like batting it away and then attacking them. Like it was just unbelievably entertaining.
I do like it though too. If like he gets punched or hit, he'll quickly bail out of the ring.
Right. But like also if somebody starts to get the upper hand, he looks like visibly frightened sometimes, which is like really fun. Dude, just feeling the character. Dominic, I saw a little bit earlier. It was like Nesha and DJ were saying,
Marcus
no, Nesha said Kenny loses all the belts and then has a mental breakdown, and DJ agreed with that. Could be interesting. I hope it's not like Ric Flair mental breakdown in WCW.
Yeah, and I hope it wouldn't be something to let's overly play comedic, where it like kind of defines him down. Where it's just like you can have fun with it for sure, but you don't.
Thing is, what I would do is like have it last for a week or maybe 2 weeks, where he just like shows up and he's wearing like a bathrobe, and like he like comes down to the ing and that he like still gets a victory over somebody, but he's still just like dejected and like walks back. Like I think that would probably be the fun way to do it.
Yeah, that would be kind of good. That'd be kind of good. No, Mark, I thought Dante Martin was great in that match. So like, that spot that you just mentioned about him like flipping over Kenny, that crowd got hot for Dante. Like they were wanting, and like you could have seen him practically win that match. Like if they got over, like that would have tore the house down if he pinned like one of the Young Bucks or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So no, it was a great thing to think about and have that in his cap for later on, where it's just like, hey, this guy, we remember what he did, and he's only 20 years old. You got all that stuff happening for him. So
he was very smooth, very smooth. He's got some serious jumps, ups, whatever the kids call it now.
Hops.
Yeah, hops.
Hops.
Yeah, I mean the kid is really good. So I'm excited to see what his future has in store, and I hope that he's not a world title winner. I don't see him ever competing for the world title. I don't ever see him competing for the TNT title. I do see him competing. No, I just don't think that. I mean, at least not until he gets a little bit older, of course. But like right now, easily competing for the cruiserweight title if there is one, sure.
Marcus, and a great way to make your own cruiserweight title unique is what Terry Funk recommended in his book, was make the cruiserweight matches only be a 1 count. 1 count is all you need in a cruiserweight match, and that's what decides it. You can make that so unique and tell new stories that way, and make that division like, hey man, this high flying, it's high speed, and 1 count on the mat is all it takes for you to get beat. I think that would be an awesome way to make your cruiserweight division, our hypothetical cruiserweight title division, something to really stand out.
No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's start next up. How about the main event of Dynamite? Jericho surviving his 4th labor against Wardlow. What'd you think of this match and how it played out, Mark?
They did it right. They did it the right way. You know, you don't want to bury Wardlow, but you do want to continue the storyline. So, yeah, having Wardlow just kick the crap out of Kenny that whole, or not Kenny, but of Jericho that whole time, that made the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I thought it was.
I can hear my kid. I'll be right back.
Okay. As far as what I thought about it, I really enjoyed the story that was told. Like, yeah, you had Wardlow not get pinned clean by Jericho, and Wardlow was dominant. Like, I mean, how many power bombs did he hit, guys? Was it like four or five power bombs, massive ones too? And like, so he had Jericho's number. I think that was a good aspect of the story to tell. And not only that, but you had the promo beforehand, way at the beginning of the show, where MJF's biting the apple, and then he's like, "Don't fuck this one up like you did with Cody." And then Wardlow crushes the apple, Danny Hodge style. Not quite Danny Hodge style, but almost. He crushed an apple at least. But anyways, you get to the point of, hey, MJF became his own enemy in that match because he's the one that hopped on the apron, distracted the referee. That allowed Jericho to grab a hold of Floyd, smack Wardlow with it. It screwed Wardlow out of that match, and it screwed MJF himself. He screwed himself out of it. So I thought it was a really great aspect to tell. Jericho was like, this is the fourth labor. He's been beat up. He's been bloodied. He's had to fight old rivals, everything like that. And now, so he was going to probably lose this match. But here, MJF fucked himself over. So I like that aspect of the story. I thought that was really well done. Jericho touring kind of gives the match away. Yeah, it could be. I think either way, like even if he beats MJF, I think he could still go away and tour, and I don't think it would really hurt MJF if he lost to Jericho. I mean, this is a long going feud, and I don't know. But you could have MJF beat Jericho and just further build that heat of him being like, you never pinned in AEW, everything like that. So that's something that you want to keep in your back pocket too if you have a top heel like MJF. So I could definitely see that. Yep, Nesha, you think the same thing too with Jericho, the tour coming, he might be losing. Steven, yeah, you mentioned too. AEW really does have enough talent to have both cruiserweight and cruiserweight tag division. Yeah. So now they're coming out with the trios title. I think that's going to happen. So I wouldn't necessarily do a cruiserweight tag titles. I think that's a lot of titles then. But if you added one more title into the mix, such as a cruiserweight title that's different from the TNT, different from obviously the World Championship, and yeah, different from the Women's Championship, I think that just adds another element that you can mix in. And heck, if you're going to do another set of tag titles, why not make it a women's tag title instead of cruiserweight tag? I think that if you add two more belts, and even that's kind of like, I don't know, because that's still a lot of belts, but like for each division, it kind of makes a little bit of sense, doesn't it? So I wouldn't be against that necessarily. Yeah, Nesha, you think the payoff has to be MJF winning? What do I think of MJF stipulations for the match? I think it's kind of I think it's okay. The no Judas effect I like, and I thought the nice touch was, hey, you can't even play your theme music, so I do like it. Yeah, I like it. I think it is because I mean Jericho, that's how he's won the matches. Was with Judas effect, so it makes perfect sense that MJF will be like, I'm taking that out of your pocket if you're going to fight me. And then not only that, you're not going to get the heat and the energy of the crowd chanting your name or singing your song. Well, that's going to happen anyways. People are going to sing it, even if the music's not playing. That's what they're setting it up for. And it's well done. Like MJF's doing a real good job at promoting that too online. If you haven't looked, he's doing a real solid job. Yeah, fans will sing it, no doubt about it. Not enough TV time for a lot of belts. I agree with you, Nesha. I mean, but you can also have these kind of matches, like especially if you have a cruiserweight division, you could have a cruiserweight title match take place on a dark or on an elevation to kind of get that going. But then you also switch them in and out. Like, hey, this week on Rampage, we're going to have a cruiserweight title defense. But like, how cool would it be? I mean, I know we're just hypothesizing here and almost basically fantasy booking. But like if you had like a Mae Young Classic kind of tournament, like and had like these unexpected talents just show up, even if it's for one-offs in this cruiserweight. Everybody wants his cruiserweight title. You know, one count. I want to beat this one count. It would be pretty damn cool, wouldn't it not? It'd be really awesome. So I'm all for that. But as far as like, I'm curious, what do you guys think is going to happen with Wardlow coming up? Do you think he's going to be leaving Pinnacle soon, or is this just another like how they did months and months ago when when MJF like challenged him basically to be like, you know, what are you going to do about it? Like he kind of yelled at Wardlow once, and things got real intense. And then I'm curious, are they just slow playing this even further? Like this is just another like moment that we keep in mind for later on when you make that face turn for Wardlow. I would almost say wait on that, because I just think there's still plenty of traction to get him over as like a monster heel where he's just like kicking ass and always on the verge of like winning, or he just dominates somebody. So title run for Wardlow and leave Pinnacle. DJ, yeah, I mean, I hope that happens. That'll definitely happen, I will say. But I hope it happens further on down the road. I just love the slow build and slow storytelling to a lot of this stuff. Yeah, Wardlow versus Miro, that's interesting too. That would be a really good way to change the titles, actually, is have Wardlow defeat a babyface Wardlow defeat a heel Miro after a great amount of time. Be pretty darn cool, I would think. Yeah, let's see what else. Oh, I can talk about this since Marcus is still up there, since he wasn't there for it. So I not only was I there for the Rampage and obviously Dynamite, but beforehand they always have, you know, AEW Dark tapings and AEW Dark Elevation tapings before and after. They had a set of tapings before Dynamite of Dark, and then they had a set of tapings of Elevation after Dynamite, and then they just had a set of Dark tapings, I believe. Yeah, it was just Dark tapings before Rampage. So, and that was about like 2 hours worth of matches before that. But hey, we had some names show up. Holy smokes. When I saw, you know, reddish hair in the ring, the first night, and here comes Akira Shida. But who do they announce as their opponent? Akira Hogan. Now, I won't spoil it for you guys what happened if you guys want to keep that out of the loop about that. But Akira Hogan wrestles Akira Shida. And so she's kind of, and they announced that too on Twitter, is that she's going to be facing, it's on an episode, it's on Elevation actually is what's going to happen. I think, yes, it is on Elevation. So it should be pretty cool to see her mix it up. Somebody from Impact Wrestling, now no longer with Impact, but now trying to make her own as a free agent. She's kind of, you know, showing what she can do on a different platform and stuff. So it was really cool to see that. Pleasant surprise. And it got a lot of traction on social media too. It really did. So people like Akira Hogan, and they're pretty. Are you guys pretty excited for that? I think that will be pretty neat to see her get in the mix of that thing. Oh, Luke says Dark Elevation was better than Dark this week in the Berg. Luke, were you there for that? Are you from the pit? Oh yeah, aren't you? You're from where we kind of aren't we? Are you from like Clearfield or something like that? You're somewhere from there, I think. Anyways, yeah. So she was there, and then on the Friday night, we happened to have what was it? Oh, Lee Moriarty, who's one of the best independent wrestlers going today. He was on MLW and the Battle Riot. He's going to be on MLW later on too, in a little bit. He's got a great match coming up too at MLW. You got to look out for that once that starts kicking again. But he was there and he fought, who we just talked about, Dante Martin. Holy crap. What a guy. So really good moment for those two to kind of show their abilities. And yeah, Lee Moriarty, holy crap. I would be, if I was AEW, I would be very much keeping tabs on Lee. Very much so. Oh, that's awesome, Luke. So you were at both shows. Yeah, so he was there, and then we had some Mission Pro Wrestling representation there, not just Thunder Rosa, but we had Masha Slamovich, who I think's got one of the best names in wrestling. She came out and she took on, oh my gosh, who did she take on? Was it? No, she fought a heel because she played the babyface. Who did she fight? Oh, Penelope Ford. She took on Penelope Ford. And I won't tell you what happens, but Masha is great. Like she's another talent that has a unique personality, very heelish. She usually plays a heel and like brash and like everything like that. So she does a great job. So she was there.
Hello.
Hello. She was there at the tapings as well. And then we had local Pittsburgh representation from the IWC. And that's big time Bill Collier. And then, oh my gosh, what's the other guy's name? Why am I blank? Oh, Palace, Andrew Palace, the world champion of IWC. Andrew Palace was there, as well as some other talents too, wrestled on the card, both on Wednesday and on Friday. It was really cool to see some local Pittsburgh talent like kind of take place and get that moment on Dark and everything like that. So that'll be kind of neat to look forward to if you guys tune in Dark and everything like that. Yeah, Marcus, do you know anything too much about Kiera Hogan or not really?
Not really. I've heard the name a bunch, but don't know a ton about her.
Okay, so but she was a big name that appeared on Dark and Elevation. She's in 2 matches. So Kiera Hogan. So Kiera Hogan, I told them that she fought Hikaru Shida, but then she also fought. Oh my God, why am I blanking here? Oh, Chris Statlander in singles match, and that's a good match too. So be on the lookout for those. But yeah, any of those talents that if you guys know who they are, who would you like to see them sign the most out of those? But if you want to sound off on there, let's see, Marcus, did you have anything else you wanted to say too about the fourth labor with Jericho and everything like that, and leading up to what happened with what's going to happen next week when MJF removes the Judas effect and the Judas song?
Yeah, I mean, kind of silly stakes to say like you can't come out to your music. It's like are we doing like a Hulk Hogan sort of thing where like the fans give Jericho power by singing at him? It doesn't really make any sense to me. But as far as the Judas effect, what's he got? Like 8 finishers? Like, okay,
yeah,
take
but
one
Marcus,
of them.
how has the story's been? How's he won every match so far? It's with the Judas effect. It
I
makes
guess.
like perfect sense that MJF would be like, all right, you've been winning every match with this. I'm taking it away from you. And then it would just like salt to the wound. He could be like, I'm taking away your theme music too. How you like that? And that's perfect because people are still going to sing it. It's just like that's what it's set up for, is for them to sing it. So
that's a good point, and it was something I hadn't considered, that the crowd is still just going to sing his music, even if he doesn't come out to it.
And MJF's leading into that so much on Twitter. He's like calling Houston a bunch of idiots, like they wouldn't be able to sing it anyways and stuff like that. So he's like,
he's fishing for it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. So that I get, because it is fun to like have the crowd just do like an acapella version of his song. As far as the finisher, I still can't co-sign it. He does a code breaker. He has the walls of Jericho.
He used the walls and he didn't get a win out of it.
That it doesn't matter. Those are his finishes. Those were his finishes. He's won championships with those finishes, as what's his face pointed out, Excalibur. So like to me, it's like taking away one of those finishes. It's like that would be like telling the Undertaker, like, all right, you can't do a choke slam. It's like he still has Hell's Gate. He still has a Tombstone Pile Driver. Still has the Last Ride. So it's like it'd probably be fine.
Well, as a heel too, you can't always like outwit the babyface. So, Jericho can pull those out of the box still and still try to get the win that way. So do you see Jericho losing? Is that what's going to happen, you think?
Yes, has to. It's the right thing to do. He's gone over strong here. He's got like a bunch of big wins. Shivani also pointed out, that it was against a bunch of different styles, and he made it work against every style. So, hey, great. Jericho came out of this looking great, but now it's time to put a young guy over.
Now, does that mean he's not going to be at All Out? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say he's going to be on commentary.
You going to say he's going to be on commentary?
Yeah.
What's happening for MJF then at All Out?
Good point. I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll be coming after the Daniel Bryan and his newly won TNT championship.
Okay, so you're saying Daniel Bryan wins the TNT champ? Well, that's not going to happen, Marcus. How, according to your prediction, because Daniel Bryan would have. He's showing up after All Out.
Oh, see, I thought that they were going to that center or to New York before that.
No, that's after All Out. So next week it's going to be the first dance where everybody's expecting Punk to be there.
Hey, Fair enough. I don't know. Not sure. So when is Jericho and MJF happening?
Next week on Dynamite.
All right. I didn't realize it was coming up so fast.
Right.
I just assumed it was that All Out.
No. That's what I thought. That's what everybody was thinking. So that's why it's kind of a surprise. Okay, they're doing it before All Out.
I mean, why would you do that? Because it's going to be a big event. All Out is like this huge event, and this is like an angle.
Major storylines that they've been playing throughout these past months.
Yeah, this is an angle it's been building forever. Why do that? Oh, Dominic, I'm going to divert again real quick. Stephen Chambers said Tony's son didn't sell QT's cutter. My thoughts exactly. He took the cutter, and then it's like it looked like 2 minutes later he was like on his feet, like, I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Hey, I'm fine.
Well, QT is a trainer. He has that track record of not being able to win, so maybe it makes sense.
And it's just Tony Schiavone's son. It's like the announcer's son. Hey, fine, he's all right.
Well, yeah, I guess let's talk about that next. Big Show or Paul White getting physical in this angle. Are we seeing Paul White versus QT Marshall at All Out, or are we seeing it beforehand?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Paul White getting physical on national TV is never a bad thing for your product. So that I think that's good. Yeah, he's probably going to wind up with QT. And there's no way QT wins that. No. So, I mean, like, and I'm not talking about like, from the standpoint of like storyline. I'm talking like, I'm not saying like I'm a mark. Like, there's no way he's gonna beat the Giant. He's too big. I'm saying like no, like from a storyline, like a business standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to put QT over against Paul White, right? Yeah. Like you've got this guy, you've spent all this money on him. He's been announcing. He's coming in as this massive baby face. You're just going to beat him with a trainer? No.
Yeah. No, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I see heat though. I see heat in like Paul White beating QT clean as a sheet, and then like that feud cultivates into Paul White and Nick Comoroto.
And that's what it should be, if you want to get some of these young guys over. So, a guy like QT should do the job, but then Nick Comoroto maybe comes after him, and maybe Nick Comoroto gets the win.
Yeah, something like that. Even if it's underhanded, he still gets the win off the Big Show. I think
sure.
Still play off.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Who should really be going over against somebody like the Big Show would be like Lance Archer, somebody like that. A good way to get him over.
With that though, like if you're positioning Lance Archer as a babyface, wouldn't make sense for him to beat the Paul White.
Is he a babyface? I don't know what the fuck he is.
I think he's a babyface. Yeah, there was an episode. There's a match on Dark that he took place in. He was hot. Like the crowd was pretty into Lance Archer. So I think he's a babyface. Yeah. Any other thoughts you want to give on that instant? Like, if you were Tony Schiavone in that whole situation, would you handle it the same way from a storyline standpoint? If that was your son?
I think Schiavone did fine. Like what's he gonna do? Like try to fight these guys? There's no way.
Try to fight them. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I thought Schiavone did fine. He had a good reaction. Whenever they attacked his kid. So yeah, no, I thought Schiavone did a great job.
Now, if it was me, they had a hold of me. The factory. I was in their clutches, and they're like, "You got to apologize to me, Marcus." That's what QT's saying to you. And I'm helpless right now. They got you're
being held back.
My python's pinned back to me. I can't handle all that men. So what would you do in that situation?
I would walk up and punch you in the stomach. They wouldn't even have to.
Here, let me open that.
Yeah, to be like, hang on.
Short bitch.
Yeah, and then I'd give you a cutter that you'd have to sell.
No,
I'd lock in the Texas Cloverleaf. You'd tap out.
Well,
you have a history of doing that.
No, well, it wouldn't happen again. I couldn't have that happen. And I do leg day now, so you can't do that. You can't get me.
We're gonna have to record us going at it in a fight, and I would be willing to guarantee I would lock you in the Texas Cloverleaf at some point.
You couldn't get me. Not anymore, Mark.
Tom,
I got my patented hand jabs. You're done.
No, dude, you would be fucked.
Weak. That's your weakness. Your Achilles heel is those hands.
Dominic, don't make me prove you wrong. I will do it.
I'm explosive like dynamite.
All right, let's hammer on. We're going off the rails. Nesha knows what's up. She's saying tap, Dom.
No, I won't, Nesha. I can't do it. Steven says Archer's better as a heel, not really Murder Hawk Monster.
I agree. He's flipping back and forth a little bit too often for my taste. Jake the Snake, his mouthpiece, which he barely uses anymore, he's better as a heel. So I don't know what the story is, dude. And it makes me not like Lance Archer. I want to like him, but like the fact that I can't put a finger on him, I don't know what he is. Is he babyface? Is he heel? Is he a big scary monster? Is he a big lovable goof? I don't know.
Not a big lovable goof. He's an ass kicking like babyface monster that you want on your side. That's what he's getting.
It's stupid booking.
I think it's doing it. I think now they're on the right track. Like if they kept going back and forth with it, I'd be with you.
Look, if you got a big old scary dude, he needs to be a heel.
You got a lot of big scary dudes there. You got Miro. I mean, you got
and he's a heel.
He's a heel. So you don't need another heel like that.
Why not? That's what you need for heels. It creates stakes. It creates stakes, Dominic.
Well, you have stakes with Miro. You have stakes. You can make stakes with Nick Camarado.
We need more stakes. We got a big old roster to fill.
Well, you can make stakes without having a babyface monster come and help out another babyface. Get out of here.
No, you get out of here. I disagree strongly.
I disagree with just you in general.
Dom DJ's asking, what did you guys think of Fuego finally getting signed with Guevara, giving him the contract? To put it kindly, I didn't give a fuck. It just didn't really make any difference to me. I know that Fuego del Sol has been trying to get a contract for a while, and he's been like working his butt off, and like it's awesome. But they aren't giving us enough. Like this is just coming out of nowhere. It's just like, hey, by the way, next week this guy gets a contract if he wins. It's like I barely know who that guy is, so I really don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of the. I mean, I'm happy for Fuego, and it sounds
absolutely.
like
I'm happy for anybody getting paid. Good for him. I want him to make money. I want everybody to make money. I want Marco Stunt to make money, even though I like trash him on this sometimes. Like everybody should make all the money. I'm happy for everybody, but like the company is failing them. They're not giving me a reason to care. Right.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like I know who Fuego del Sol is, and I've seen him in little spurts here. But if somebody doesn't watch a Dark or a Dark Elevation, we don't know the whole build and the whole backstory to Fuego. Like I didn't know like that him and Samuel were best friends. Like I wasn't aware of that.
Like why aren't they telling us that ahead of time?
Yeah, we figured that out. Like a lot of audiences just figuring that out now. So it's just like, not to say I wasn't happy for him, and not to say that he like how they played that match too. I liked it. I liked how they played it off, where he like hits Miro quickly with a tornado before the bell even rings. Miro gets up. He's like, I'm good, like still woozy and stuff. He hits another one. He's hoping to get the 10 count on Miro. He almost gets it. Miro gets back in, gets another one on Miro, kicks out. And then you have just Miro squash him the rest of the time. I thought it was a good way to execute.
Here's a way to make me care about Fuego del Sol. Start tag teaming him with Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Okay, they're best friends. Let's see what they got. Like put them in the ring against people. Maybe even against let's start against Private Party. Maybe move on to the Young Bucks eventually. Mm-hmm. Let's see what they got. But as of right now, it's like you said, I didn't even know he had a relationship with Sammy Guevara. So Sammy comes out with a contract, and you're like, what is he doing here? Why does he care if this guy gets signed?
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It just really good storytelling throughout most of Dynamite and Rampage. But that was one place where it was just like, what are we doing here? What happened? Like, how did we get from A to B here?
Yeah, that's the thing is like, some of the people were on the ride for it, and like you listen to the crowd, people were hot for Fuego. Like a lot of the people were in tune with what was going on apparently with them. But there's that audience that isn't in tune with it and that don't know what's going on. So
yeah, DJ is pointing out it's on Guevara's YouTube vlogs.
Yeah, on his
vlogs. I've never watched one. I love AEW. I've never watched one of those vlogs. Not one.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's kind of been an ongoing issue, with some of this stuff is they'll now like how they package them. Like they gave Fuego a little bit of a moment beforehand so that you got a little bit familiar with them, but it's kind of not enough. Like
post clips from Sammy's vlog on AEW. Like let us see that, because not only would it give his vlog the rub then on national television, where it's like I got to see what this dude is doing on his vlog. I didn't even know he had one.
Yeah.
Not only is it doing that, but then it's also furthering the storyline.
Further up the storyline a little bit more. Yeah. Speaking of a storyline that hasn't really gotten further, and it kind of makes more sense now. Hangman, his story's on hold apparently because due to like being a father coming up. Like his wife's pregnant, and it kind of makes a whole lot more sense. Like I knew like his wife was pregnant at this point, but like it kind of makes a little bit more sense as why he's going away. So how do you think overall then now, considering all that, is that a little bit more okay with how they've been handling Hangman these past?
Yeah, it's that certainly paints it in a different picture. It's still a bummer because Hangman was like, I mean, he was starting to get absolutely red hot. On the verge of white hot as far as like the way the crowd was reacting every single time he would come out. So yeah, it's the timing is not great as far as his career is concerned, but I'm unbelievably happy for him. As a new dad myself, I can say that it's one of the best experiences you'll have in your life. So good for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I mean, like if it makes sense too, because like if you want to get Hangman over as one of the next, one of your top guys, like one of your main eventers here, and like have him have that moment. Like if he wins the title and then his baby's born, or anything like that, like it would be tough for him to enjoy that once in a lifetime moment with your child, like your newborn baby, and like be the defending world champion for that amount of time, for an extended period of time. So it does make sense at this point in time. So yeah, no, I'm happy for him too. And
a lot of people say that Hangman, and I think I've heard Jim Ross say this, Hangman reminds him of what's his name, Barry Windham.
Yeah.
And I can see that, but more than that, I'm starting to see a little Magnum TA in him, where it's just like this good-looking dude, red hot, like everybody in the territory loves him, top of his game. So it feels like we're getting a mulligan with Magnum TA. We get to see maybe what could have been, with Hangman Page.
That's an interesting take on it. Yeah, That's pretty good. Let's see. Sting next week is going to be on action in TNT for the very first time in over 20 years. Tagging with Darby Allin against 2.0.
Dom, who goes over?
You got me. I'm curious if 2.0's kind of on that Matt Cardona kind of ride right now, because they were just released by WWE. They haven't announced that they're all elite or anything like that. I'm kind of curious if they're just there kind of like to do this little angle, and maybe they can circle back around at another point, or what's gonna.
Well, you saw what happened with the Varsity Blondes. We all thought that the Varsity Blondes were signed, and then it's like a month ago they were like, "Hey, guess what? We signed the Varsity Blondes." And it's like, I've been seeing them on TV for like a year. I thought you already signed them. So they might be in one of those situations.
Yeah, they could be, and that they're would be valuable to have, because they even had you weren't familiar with them as Advertised at all, but they had like their own YouTube show that they would do, that was associated with NXT, but they would do like a 10-minute video and stuff like that. So I mean, if AEW is looking for more content and characters like that, they fit a very good role in that regard. Like they can play those kind of like guys that like get the heat and are humorous and entertaining to get into, and then like they get their asses kicked or something like that. It's not a bad role to be in at all, honestly. Even
Steven Chambers not a fan of the name there. 2.0.
2.0.
What's the tag team with like they look like they're always at a rave with like the glowy outfits?
TH2.
Yeah, come on now with these little names.
2.0s, a lot of two.
Yeah, not a fan of that. Do they have glow sticks? I feel like they do.
They don't have glow sticks.
Are you sure?
No.
They've never come to the ring with glow sticks?
Is it TH2? No, they haven't. I don't think. Maybe.
I don't know. I have no idea. They just look like they should be at a rave, dude.
Yeah. Oh, Marcus, yeah. We got Joey Janela now as a heel with Sonny Kiss. Turned on Sonny Kiss. What do you think of all that?
It blew me right out of my chair, Dom. I don't. They haven't given me a reason to care, have they? Have you? I like Sonny Kiss. I think Joey Janela is a good seller. Sometimes he's not great. Like when he fell back and all four limbs were sticking straight up in the air. Right. I saw a groundhog get hit by a vehicle once, and that's what it did. It just like all of its limbs just stuck right up in the air. But why do I care? When was the last time I saw Sonny Kiss on national television? So it's just like, hey, remember Sonny Kiss from 2 years ago when he was on national TV?
Where
Here's what happened.
That's the thing is, and they started that off too. Like they had vignettes with him and Joey. Like Joey was on a losing streak, and Sonny Kiss pulls up in a car, and they become a tag team. Like if they furthered that more and more, like, and not just on YouTube or anything like that, but if they had little segments like that, you could have really got behind them more as like a babyface tag team. Then
And hey,
but
look,
I think, Sonny got hurt too. That's I think he got hurt.
And hey, look, if it's a dark storyline, if they've been doing it on Dark or Elevation and doing the storyline, then just do it there. Why tell us about it on when I'm tuning into Dynamite? They haven't, like I said, they haven't given me a reason to care at all. It's like I sort of forgot they were a tag team, and they're like, "Hey, you remember that tag team you forgot about? They just broke up." And it's like, why do I care about this?
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, hopefully they'll make something more out of it. I really see Sonny Kiss as a big single star for them. If they put the build around him more and more, like over the course of time. Just I think he's a unique talent, and I think somebody the crowd can really get behind.
Luke down here makes a good point. The good doctors from Punxsutawney, why are they saying she's from Pittsburgh? Low key heat from me.
Well, she lives. I think they're not going to have shows in Punxsutawney.
No, and that's really what it is too.
She lives in Pittsburgh. Like she's probably lived in Pittsburgh a good chunk of the time. So.
You and I are both from Ridgeway, Pennsylvania, and if I was a pro wrestler, I'd probably just be like, just tell them I'm from Pittsburgh, just because it's like.
Did say that, wouldn't we say that, or like Erie, we would say.
Yeah, basically, because nobody knows where we grew up. So if somebody would ask me where, I'd be like, you know where Du Bois is? And if they said no, I'd be like, you know where Erie is?
Yeah,
I'd be like, it's southeast of that.
We're 2.5 hours away from Erie. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, is there anything else you want to cover? I think we covered it pretty.
No, I think we played the hits this week, Dom. We discussed all the big stuff.
Yeah.
Oh wait, AEW needs to make a storyline with Statlander and Orange Cassidy as a wrestling couple. Thoughts? I think that could play into something that you and I talked about last week, Dominic, where I would not hate the idea of mixed gender tag titles.
See, now that wouldn't be bad. Now you were upstairs when I want to say it was Steven brought it up. Was the cruiserweight a set of cruiserweight tag titles? I was like, because you almost like if you have a men's tag team titles, it would make sense to have a women's tag team titles. But yeah, so then like an intergender tag team title would be cool, but then like that's a lot of titles still. So it's like because there's talks of the trios tag titles, and that makes sense too from how many trios they have. So I mean, like
there's only so much TV time too, so it's like, what is every match going to be a title match?
Right.
Because if you introduce enough titles, it could turn into an issue.
You don't want
that. Yeah. So I don't know. It can be done, I think, but I think it needs to be done artfully. Like maybe say like, hey, so this mixed tag team title thing, it's only ever going to be defended on Dark, or it's only ever going to be defended on Rampage.
Yeah, see, that wouldn't be bad because that would give people an incentive to tune into those. But yeah, man, I think you got to be careful with I think they could introduce like one more singles title and like the trios title, and then maybe a women's tag, but then leave it at that. Like that's it, because you have enough of a roster that you can make those mean something.
Ooh. This Orange Cassidy talk is reminding me of one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
Dominic, I know you love Orange Cassidy. What were your thoughts on Orange Cassidy taking Matt Hardy's hand and putting it into his own pocket while Matt Hardy stood there helplessly with his other hand completely free, where he could strike down Orange Cassidy? What were your thoughts?
Maybe Matt was just too focused on that one hand going into his pocket. He did not like it, and he did not even think of his other hand. Too focused on the moment. Did not want that hand to be in the pocket.
So, like, if you're walking from Starbucks...
Now here's another thing we got to look at, Marcus. What is Matt Hardy's dominant hand? Is he right-handed or is he left-handed?
Dominic, have you never thrown a punch with your? I know you're left-handed. Have you never thrown a punch with your right hand?
Sometimes I know I have more confidence in my left than I would my right.
So if you were walking from Starbucks, you just got a coffee, and it's in your dominant hand, your left hand, and you're drinking it, and you stumble over something, which you do a lot while you're walking.
Oh, yes.
You stumble over something. Would you be too focused on the coffee in your hand to put out a hand to keep yourself from face planting on the sidewalk, Dominic?
No, I think instincts would kick in. But I think instincts would kick in.
I think so too, Dom, and I think that those same instincts would kick in if somebody was trying to put your hand into their pocket. We'd be like, "Get the fuck off of me!"
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I was okay with the match though. Like, I was fine. I liked,
I got very tuned out. It was like Fonzie jumping the shark on Happy Days, Dom. Where I'm just like shutting this off. Don't care about it.
You didn't shut it off though, did you?
I didn't shut it off, but let me say, my phone became very interesting at that moment.
Well, I don't know if I think Orange Cassidy's great.
He's not going anywhere if he doesn't start to change up the gimmick. Treading water.
I think the moment, what it always, and I keep saying this, the moment it always builds to is him showing when he cares and stuff like that. When it matters is when he cares. And like, I think they're doing all right with that. Like, I wouldn't, don't get him too much in lower card feuds either is the other issue. Keep him in the hot, like, feud that has stakes to it, I think is what's key with him. You can kind of obviously you want to have some development here and there, but you don't want to lose what makes Orange Cassidy special either in a lot of those ways.
I think we just need to see more, and I think that a possibility would be something like focusing him into like mixed gender tag team wrestling. Because look, the cow has been milked pretty well at this point, and I think that udder is about to go dry.
I don't think so. I think he's still pretty darn hot, Marcus.
Maybe, but compared to some of the talent that they're looking at bringing in, I think he's going to get super lost in the shuffle.
I don't think so. I think they could.
I disagree. Where this guy's stuffing other dudes' hands into his pocket as like a high spot.
I don't know, Mark. I think there's always a place to find a place for Orange Cassidy on there. He's one of their established stars. Oh, here's a question too before we leave. Out of their quote unquote homegrown talent, like, who do you think has been elevated the best? Would you say Britt Baker? Now these are your options. Would you say Britt Baker? Would you say Orange Cassidy? Would you say MJF? Would you say Darby Allin? Trying to think if there's one more. Let's go with those four. Out of those four, who is their best homegrown talent right at this moment?
I think you can make the argument that it's Britt Baker. Because she's super over, and I mean you kind of see her everywhere, hear about her everywhere. Nesha doesn't feel that Britt was homegrown because wasn't she in developmental with WWE?
I think she's pretty darn homegrown in this regard. Like,
I mean, if you think about it, basically nobody's homegrown. Most of these people.
Well, yeah, that's like Orange Cassidy's not. Orange Cassidy was like super.
I guess
with MJF. MJF was like MLW and.
I guess the point you're trying to make though is like basically the people who really made a name for themselves with AEW, which one?
And with Britt especially, I think you can really consider her homegrown in a lot of the ways because she started off as a baby face and it was pretty flat. And then, once she turned heel in AEW and found her rhythm of like who she is and everything like that, she caught fire. Like, so
I would have to say Britt Baker. I think that she's
Jungle Boy was the other one too. So.
Yeah. She's worked really hard to get herself over, and I think that she's positioned herself probably the best out of anybody. Now that being said, Darby Allin is walking out there with Sting every week, so he's doing okay.
Right. He's doing darn good too, and MJF too. Geez, he's undefeated, like no pins. Now he's that like beat has wins.
Yeah,
over.
He's always in big angles, so it's one of those three certainly, but probably Britt Baker.
It's a toss up, and like I think you can really make a case for Orange Cassidy too. You really could, honestly.
Disagree.
Well, that's because you're just not feeling it, but everybody else is feeling it, Marcus.
You could have made that argument back when he was dumping orange juice on Chris Jericho a while back, but since then he's just gone flat.
He gets It's a huge pop, Marcus. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Nesha is a big fan of Orange.
Yes.
And look, I don't like hate him or anything, but like I'm just like I'm getting sick of this shtick.
I'm getting sick of your stick. How's that sound?
Tell you what, yeah, that Texas Cloverleaf sounded pretty good right now.
You know what? You're all bluff and no stuff.
Oh, come on now.
Mm-hmm. How do they follow your punk ass on Twitter?
You can follow me on the Twitter at Marcus P. D'Angelo. You can follow this podcast on Twitter at 2 Dynamite Dudes. That's the number 2 Dynamite Dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic, did you ever put out an announcement about WCW?
I did not. I did not. So, Marcus, why don't you make this announcement here? It's nothing like we'll just go ahead.
Yeah, in a nutshell, I've been given a pretty big opportunity, and I'm just trying to maintain focus on that opportunity. If you follow me on Twitter, you can see what that opportunity was, because I was actually tagged in a post about it. But yeah, I've been given a really big opportunity. I want to do my best with it, so my focus has shifted a little bit. That doesn't mean that we're never going to return to WCW Rewritten, but as of right now, we are on hiatus.
The season is on. Yeah, we're on a season hiatus.
Yeah, like this is the end of season 1. All right, so season 2 is coming up, but it's like Rick and Morty, man. You don't know when the next season's coming, but it's coming.
Oh, hey, let's let Luke get his shit in here. He said,
Luke.
Hey, Luke 96, great name, by the way.
Sweet name.
And Grid Ring on Twitter. Grid Iron Ring on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Yeah, do it. See, I'm all, if you guys ever want to promote your shit, go ahead. If I see like it's spam or anything like that, like somebody we don't know or whatever, well, we won't promote it. But if we know you, hell, I'm more than happy to get you over on here. So, yeah.
So Steven said it perfectly, Dominic. We're going into hibernation at WCW Rewritten.
Yes, we're hibernating.
That's right. But like I love doing it, and it was fun doing the storylines and coming up with things week to week. So I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying it's over for now.
Over for now, and once we get back to it, we'll give a good recap on everything and get people caught up and up to snuff on there. So, no, I love being a part of it and listening to it, and gets me excited every time. We'll like Marcus, because I go in there blind, and Marcus basically just tells me. So it's fun it builds the anticipation for it. So
yeah, I've never told Dominic what's going to happen before an episode of Rewritten, so he's learning right along with everybody.
Right along with you.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing it. Love doing the writing. I just simply do not have the time right now, but between my regular day job, this major opportunity that I've just been given, and keeping up with this podcast, I'm a busy boy.
Yeah, just a lot of plate spinning happening.
Not to mention, I've got a baby and a wife. Yeah, so those are the 2 most important.
So there you go. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Dominic D'Angelo. You can follow WrestleZone on Twitter at WrestleZone.com. You can, do this. We have a new subscribe to not only subscribe to the WrestleZone podcast feed, which you just type in WrestleZone on your podcast feed of choice. It should pop up. But type in 2 Dynamite Dudes on your podcast feed, specifically probably 2 Dynamite Dudes with Attitude. Obviously, I'm going to change it with 2 Dynamite Dudes on a Rampage. But it's its own separate feed. Write a review for us on iTunes or whatever platform you can maybe do that on. But yeah, give us some props and a little bit of buzz happening so we get more word out about our Dynamite show, AEW show. So
yes, please.
Yep, we want to be car talk of AEW here. The fucking Tapper brothers here. So parent life is a busy thing, Nesha says. Marcus, you can agree with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very busy. So we still like to make time for pro wrestling. This is our passion. So you'll see me here every week. Still, I'm not going away from this.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you're stuck with them, guys. My apologies.
Come on, I'm like the light of this podcast.
The light. So you're like you're the Cody Rhodes, and I'm the Malachi Black. That's what you're saying.
No,
I'm just gonna black. That's what I'm gonna do. You might have the Texas Cloverleaf. I got the fucking black mask. Just gonna boom.
You're just gonna kick me in the head.
Right across the jaw.
I don't think you could do it.
I do DDPY. So
Dave, fair enough.
All right, guys. Hey, you know what? we'll see you next week. How's that sound?
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate all the comments and you guys joining us week after week. It's really fun talking to you guys. We try to get in all of your questions or answers, or at the very least, create a discussion between all of us. Week to week we'll continue it, and we'll look forward to talking to you guys next week.
We'll keep you guys rolling. All right.
Adios.
All right. 2 Dynamite dudes on a rampage, baby.
Bye.
Bye.